So in those days, and I don't want to go deeply into the technology of how the building was done such that it could not trap any other spirit apart from God. The building was done in such a way in the Old Testament that it captured the dimensions of human servants. It captured the dimension of angelic servants. So in the book of Luke chapter 1, where you see that Zechariah came to offer incense and he had an encounter with Gabriel, it is expected, because the temple was built to capture the offices of men, to capture the offices of angels, and the Holy of Holies was built to capture the office of cherubims and to capture the office of God. So that if God leaves his throne and enters into the temple, he won't know that he changed realm, because this, do you understand it? That the Holy of Holies was built to mirror his dimension, so he doesn't know that he changed realm. But we have trapped him in that place, and we can receive his counsel, we can hear his voice, we can see his illumination. So that was how it was in those days, and I don't have time to go deeper. It's not for today. When Jesus came, the presence of God that was in the temple left the temple and now had his abode in him. So there was a transition from the material to the personal. So you'll find scriptures that say in him, give me Colossians chapter 2 verse 9. There was a transition from the material to the personal. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily. So this was the arrangement. Jesus became the temple. So there was no need for you to visit the temple after Jesus showed up. Because if you go to the temple, you will not meet the presence of God there. The presence of God was trapped in a man. There was a migration from the material to the personal. So everything that God did from that time, he did with a man, and his name was Jesus. Are you there with me? Now, if God allows me, I need to open John chapter 14, but he has not allowed me. It's a very complex scripture, but if we understand the context, it will be very easy for us to understand. Okay, he's giving me a little permission. You know, in the book of John chapter 14, Jesus said, in my Father's house are many mansions. Are you there? If you are not aware that Jesus was speaking about himself being his Father's house, you would think he was speaking about heaven. Because he was, don't forget Colossians chapter 2 verse 9. That's why I asked them to put it on the screen. He was his Father's house. He was the dwelling place of God. He was the temple. Are you there? Do you know that he threatened the people? He said, destroy this temple. And he was talking about himself. And I will rebuild it in 3 days. So in my Father's house, there are many mansions. He was not talking about heaven. He was talking about him being his Father's house. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. He was not saying he was going to heaven. He was saying he was going to the cross. Because when he went to the cross and he died on the cross, he was buried and then he resurrected. Are you there? So there was another transition from his personal human body to a mystical body. First of all, he started from a material temple, then to a personal temple, then to a mystical body.